Welcome to SirensScreamPD, Nenen and Mommy Joy Tantrum. We do hope you enjoy.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to our Siren Scream PD, a mommy and a Nenen catching up. How are you doing today, Siren?
Pretty amazing.
Nice. Okay, so today, as regular, we know we are a Nenen and a mommy on the go. We're just catching up real quick before baby starts screaming. And I'm also recently an auntie, and I have my little 10-week-old in the background, so we might hear her crying. So I just want to make sure, we get through this as quickly and as well as possible.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you wanna start? Like we're doing our catch up on with whoever one of us. We're gonna do today what's been going well since we last spoke, any lessons learned in the nurturing or tantruming front, and a projection for next month.
For sure. So today is, everybody's first day around here. Today was Soleil's first day back at school. And
Mm,
Kevin and I both started training for a new job today.
okay.
Yeah. So summer is, well, I guess our summer break is officially over and we're back in the swing of things. Yeah. So a lot has changed since the last time we spoke. Obviously, I switched jobs.
Yeah.
Kevin, I think the last time we spoke, the plan was still for him to be back in Canada in September, but now
Right.
that's been extended to January. So we have a few more months of, all being together. Um,
That's really nice.
yeah, for sure.
You're right.
Definitely, of course. So, and last evening, I we decided to go to the beach just to have our little one last summer run, but it actually turned into like a small unplanned date night because Soleil fell asleep on the way to the beach. So we just stopped at the
Oh,
park and we set him up in a spot so he can sleep, and we were watching the sunset and it was so amazing.
oh, you guys so deserve that. That is amazing for
Yeah,
sure.
it was an amazing day yesterday, all in all, but that was the highlight for me because it
Oh,
was unplanned and it was something that I was kind of wanting. Like I even asked him the night before, like, it's been a while since we did any, we haven't had a date night in a while or had any,
for sure.
we haven't paid much attention to the relationship. We've been putting all our energy into maintaining the house, maintaining the family, maintaining Soleil, and not really maintaining us. And then
Right.
we spoke about it 2 nights ago. Not really planning to do anything date night related yesterday, but it just happened that Soleil just fell asleep and we got time to ourselves.
Isn't that wonderful? The power of keeping that focus and admitting that to each other and just like emitting it and seeing what comes.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's so cool because actually while we were watching the sunset, I was like, wow, babe, today was such an amazing day. He's like, yeah. And I feel like, it's like directly related to the conversation we had yesterday. And then,
Absolutely.
I told him about the conversation that we had the day before that.
Mm.
Um, because that's kind of what inspired the conversation that we had that night. I said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna talk to him after we had our little meeting. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna talk to him. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay. That's good. So then I'll go. Updates from me since our last. I think there have been so many. So I think within my network, with all of the taking care of those of us who take care of each other and making sure our levels are always on top, being so sensitive and in tune with my kin and realizing how much rest we need. I had just I got into a pretty bad accident actually since we last spoke, and I was lucky enough to be fine. It was to me a miracle that I was fine. I didn't actually realize how strong the frame of the car was because the other car was totaled. Um, so it's like in a fight and you're like, you should see the other guy. But I was fine. But it just made me so in tune with my spine, my spinal column, doing meditations around that, and just realizing how sensitive we are, and all what I do all the time, but just like really tapping in deeper into my nerve system and my sensitivity, and realizing how much of a change I need for myself to be able to be there for the people I love, to be able to be that nurturer, to be able to be that Nenen, to be able to be that sister to my kin. So it's been changing a lot for me, and I'm so ready for the new next, the whole new world that I've been creating in having a secure physical space where all of us can come and get that respite, that can come and take 3 nights as an individual or as a couple and just kind of recharge, recenter, refocus. So I'm doing a lot of work with that, and that's been really great for me. I met somebody new, which is nice. So that's been really interesting, getting to know this new person, and also just really getting to know myself in this new space is a really wonderful new ride. So that's been cool, and learning to nurture myself in that allowance, in that level of softness. You know, I teach it so much, but I've been doing it a lot on my own for a while. And like in the last 3 months, I opened myself saying, okay, I want to like manifest it, and physically. And so it's kind of like in Star Wars or Star Trek when you see like the something moves at light speed and it just emerges into reality. I feel like that's how this new perspective current partner has come about, and I'm really sensitive and glad about seeing where it goes. So it's a very new space for me, and I'm very happy.
Wow, that sounds so exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then for you, I think with what you were just saying, I really appreciate you, because I mean, when we had decided to even start this, you were realizing like issues with our mothers. You know, we were sharing about how mothers have partners, but then there's always a component within a partnership where you kind of feel like a single parent. And I'm really glad to hear you give that update, and I'm really glad that we're able to document these, because you'll be able to go back and watch them over time and see your quantum leap from the admission of that, without downgrading your partner, without being overcompensatory, and with being um, considerate to yourself. You're like, okay, I really need more from us. And not like he's not pulling his weight, but that we need more us time. Like, I need to ensure that we don't just have this child, we have this relationship that is an entity unto itself. So I'm really glad on the outside looking in to listen to you say that, and to see you beaming in that way, and to show that it's possible to whoever's listening, that once you have the courage to admit to yourself and to those in your midst what you need, you're able to create it and find it, and it's able to just kind of happen, because you didn't say, okay, so now that we discussed this, let's go plan a date night. It just kind of happened. And you want to be able to maintain that momentum where this is how we do it, like this is how we do it, like this is just what happens, like we just kind of, it's on top, we put it on top by vibration, and it just keeps happening, that we get that time together.
I've been seeing so much of that happening, not just with my relationship, but just in general, with the new job that we're starting. Because he was doing another job before, which was kind of, the time was just horrible. It was in the middle of the night, and he didn't like that very much. So he left that, and we got something that kind of worked better for both of our schedules.
Yeah.
And then I also, I reached out to my best friend to tell her, like, hey, I just got a new job. And she was like, yeah, I just got a job offer too. And her really good friend also got a job offer for a job that's also remote, just like mine, paying more money,
Wow.
just like hers. Yeah, it was just like all in the space of a couple of days, so much,
Yeah.
so much just happened just by, just talking about it. Like, yeah, I would really like this. Like, this would be really nice. And then boom. And I also
Yeah.
had that with a chat group that I'm in with, other people, because I do forex trading as well. Kevin and I do it together, and I'm
Right.
really involved in the chat groups with other traders. I talk to people all the time, and I was talking to some people who were like, I'd really like to master, trading gold. And I messaged back, I'm like, yeah, I really want to master trading gold. And there was just like over the past week, I was really like going hard trading gold, doing some stuff that was a little risky. So I lost some money and I felt really bad. I was like, oh my God, I lost like all this money. And Kevin was like, oh my God, Zan. And I'm like, I don't really feel so bad about it. I feel like I'm getting it, like I'm getting there, And then at a certain point, I had a trade open and I refused to go to sleep because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with this if I go to sleep. So I stayed up
Right.
all night just watching it. That was the night before I spoke to you in the morning. I stayed
Yes.
up all night just watching it. And by the morning, I had literally figured it out. Like, I was watching different videos trying to figure out this one indicator that I was using to kind of, figure out what the pair was doing. And in the morning, I I was like, Kevin, I think I got it and stuff. So I kind of explained to him, how I figured it out. And then, we were just kind of testing it. So, testing my theory. And I fell asleep that night because I stayed up the entire night before. And I think I
Yeah.
was looking at the indicators. Everybody's like, oh, you know what? Gold is going to sell. And then I said, no, based on the indicator I'm looking at, I feel like gold is going to buy. But I fell asleep. When I woke up in the morning, Kevin was like, whoa, we missed like a huge buy on gold because we was,
No.
I'm like, I'm so happy about that. I was so
That,
happy because I was like, it doesn't even matter. It just showed me like, the theory we're testing it's working. So I was so
yeah.
happy about it. And then that same day I got the message about the job. It was just like everything that I was asking for the last 2 weeks just fell into place in the
Fell
space.
into place. And that
So,
means so much to me. It brings me into our next part about just lessons we've learned with nurturing,
mm-hmm.
um, where it's that, like, just the trust that you and I have cultivated, where um, like when you, I don't know if you want to talk about it, so I'm gonna, skirt around it and you'll bring it up if you feel.
Okay.
But when you went through that big job change, um, just like right after our last call, and you called me right away, we spoke about it, and it was just about getting the courage to feel good about something that everyone expects you to feel bad about.
Yep.
So I really appreciate the trust between us, that you knew to call me and that I was there that I'm able to be there for you. Just entrusting inspiration, not just giving thanks to myself, like, oh, I'm so glad I'm able to be there for you, but to trust, the essence of trust, that both of us trust that if we call each other, trust will happen, and we will iron sharpen iron, and we will get the answer, and you will feel good. That means a lot. So coming from that into our conversation earlier this week, and so bringing it now to me, observing my niece, like, so we're learning like sleeping patterns with her, because she's going through so many little developmental changes, and I'm so sensitive to just being so thankful to observe her little growth, and so for her, she needs a lot of soothing in the space. And so for Secret Dialogue, I've been thinking about soothing right now, and just realizing how exhausted everybody is, like all of us, everybody's exhausted in the world, and being able to admit, what you need now, what soothing looks like for you now, what comfort looks like. So like with you and him, now that you all are new parents, and also he has been gone and now returned, so you had that long distance relationship. As part of the relationship, you had so many shifts in your job within the dynamics of being a mom on her own physically for a bit. Even if you're not a single mom, there was still that dynamic. And what soothing looks like for you as a woman now has just changed so much. And being able to admit that and get what you need out of it is so important. But yes, okay, we're talking about women because it's the two of us, but even your partner, Kevin, even your son, The things that would be easy for you to just kind of soothe him as a baby. He needs more or he needs different. Or
Yeah.
sometimes he needs less, and that's really nice.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed a lot since, Soleil just turned 2 last week, and it's been, he's at a stage where he feels a lot of things, and he can't necessarily express all of it. He can express certain ones that he knows the vocabulary for, but other than that, he would just,
Exactly.
break his food apart or start
And
crying.
tantrum.
Yeah, tantrum, basically. And I've just been trying to ask him, hey, what do you want? Do you want a hug? He says, need carry, hold me. So he'll say, need carry, need TT, breast. He wants to be at the breast, he wants to be on me. So he'll
That is
express
so
that.
perfect.
Yeah, so he will express that need. But there are times when I'm in the bed with him and thinking like, okay, he's really tired. Maybe I should just lay down and comfort him. But I realize that he just needs to be alone. He's not going to fall asleep for as long as I'm in the room. He just will not fall asleep. He's not.
Yeah.
So I give him his space, and within a few minutes, he's asleep. So it's
Yeah.
just trying to figure out when he needs me close and when he needs me to just go away.
Yeah.
Um,
So for in that case, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned about that, like from our last conversation when it comes to being able to basically say to your lover, need carry, basically say to your child, need mommy time,
yeah.
and to yourself, like what would you say would be that lesson
I
for you?
I think the biggest lesson for me, when I look at it on a larger scale, based on everything that's been going on in my life with Kevin, with Soleil, with my job, with our home situation, it's that sometimes we don't know in advance what it is that we need, sometimes until the moment arrives. And
Yes.
like Kevin really expressed needing, like when we, had our conversation about our family itself, he needed this break. He's actually just taking a semester off, not because
Oh,
he
wow.
necessarily just decided to stay home, but just, the way things were working out, he decided he would take a semester off. And when we spoke, he's like, I feel like I've missed out on 2 years and I really needed this break, like to, be here.
I
And
literally want to cry. Like, sorry, I know I'm cutting you off. Please continue, but like hearing you say that, yeah, continue.
yeah, and I remember when I was speaking to you just before I lost my last job, I was talking to you about how stressful it was. I said, man, my job is just so much pressure right now. And I just really feel
Yeah.
like I need a break. And then a few days later, I got fired. And I literally, you are one of maybe 4 people that I even spoke to about that situation at all. Just because,
Right.
like what you said, sometimes how you feel about a situation is not how everybody would expect you to feel. So you might come to somebody and say, hey, so I'm no longer with this company. And they're like, oh, like they I don't know, the energy that they give to it is not necessarily where you are right now or where you want to be for an extended period of time. So I spoke to people about it, just you, my best friend Jamie, my brother, my younger brother Ngugi, just very few people, just because
Yeah.
I feel like those are the people who really know me and know how I move through my emotional processes and
Mm-hmm.
can adapt to that, so to speak. But I
Mm-hmm.
needed that break. I really needed that break. I just felt so free when it happened. I still felt really sad because of the ending, the way, like, just everything about it. But I felt like I needed that break. And the new job that we're starting, it actually feels like a huge step in the right direction.
Yes.
And it made me see that I was so resistant to let go of the job. I wanted to leave the job just because of the way it was affecting my family life, the way that I was working very late at night and I wasn't getting to spend as much time with Sole that I.
Oh, wait, stop. It says our meeting has This meeting no longer has what? This meeting no longer has time limits. I don't understand what that means.
Oh
It's still
yeah, it
recording?
just there was a 40-minute, I think, time limit, and it just said that they removed it, so we have more time.
Oh, ew. Okay, we don't want to make it too much longer, so we will after this we'll try to close. But after you finish this. But yeah, that's good. Go us. We
Yeah,
actually had the time. Isn't that nice? It's good when you
yeah,
actually have the time and you're not like running to something screaming at you.
I
So
know,
give thanks.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Um, so I felt the pressure. I remember Kevin, he said he felt so bad for me just because whenever I had a night shift, I would sit at my computer and I would say, do I really have to work right now? And
Yes,
I mean, the answer is no, I don't have to, but I felt like I did. So I stayed doing it for way longer than I wanted to
yes.
until it just had to end, and I felt
I
so
that.
relieved afterwards.
Yeah. So I think if we put it down to a point that we can both agree on, it is like when I write on it for secret dialogue, it's emit it, admit it, and emit it. So just allow your body that sigh of relief, like this is just not working anymore. And even if I don't know, I feel unsure, but I'm open to exploring what is different for me and know that life will open it up. We are life and we will open it up. I love how your admission of that and your emission of that gave you the opportunity to lose your job, the opportunity to keep your partner closer physically with you. It gave the opportunity for the potential of the relationship, where he made a choice to stay home longer with you, and for you all to start working on a business together. Like it opened up so much, and I think the lesson there too is to not to be afraid to be happy, not to be afraid to see what form it takes. So because we want to wrap up, I'm just going to go into mine first as far as my projection for next month, and then you'll do yours, and then we'll end.
Hmm.
So for me, there are a lot of with the new job dynamics that I'm trying to do based on what happened with my awareness of my spine from the accident, and with my newfound connection to intimacy and sensual sentience and all of that. I just want to make sure that I keep doing that light speed manifestation. I just want everything to become so solid in my space, and to use the force and bring it all into form. Things that I consider are in explicit resonance. Things that I just I don't I don't have any more time to tantrum anymore. I want the tantrum to not even be that long. Like I just want it to be like, oh no, she's only moving in resonance now, so she doesn't even have to scream unless she just wants to for fun with her other siren counterparts.
For sure.
So
um
we'll see. That's my projection for next month.
I love that. My projection for next month and, well, the foreseeable future
Yes,
is definitely to enjoy that, like just enjoy the time, just enjoy having Kevin home, having all
yes,
three of us together. I think we're all super happy about that. So I'm really looking
yes.
forward to, the rest of this year and just enjoying it as much as possible, not being afraid to just be happy about what is.
Yes, being present. Being present. It's such a beautiful thing when you can actually find your groove with it and get that sigh of relief. Yeah, I feel so happy for you. So honored as usual to be able to be a fly on the wall in your relationship. To see your
Oh,
little family grow. It's such an honor and a joy, and I'm so glad that we are doing this. And I look forward to however many we can do together, and to seeing how whatever tangential things come from it.
awesome. And I honestly, I think I've said that to you so much recently, but our last session and just, our relationship, our connection does so much for me, for just reminding me of things, maybe things that I already know, or showing me different ways
Absolutely.
to, think about things and giving me the courage to express myself in my life, in my relationship, just in general. It's helped me so much with everything that's going on right now, and I really love and appreciate having you in my life.
Yay, we are definitely ecologically sound in our siren scream, and we look forward to our barter and economic trade and peace trade and all these good little financial economical words. I look forward to seeing us very rich, very happy, very in love. And yeah,
I'm very all of that.
very all of that. Yes, my darling. All right, so I will see you soon. You'll end us out. You have that magic touch.
All right, awesome. So I really
All
had
right.
fun, and I really look forward to the next one.
Yes.
Can't wait. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
All
bye.
right, bye bye.